Beautiful Boy, which is a film based on two books, one by Nick Sheff and one by David Sheff, a son and father who both wrote from their own point of view about the addiction of Nick. I won't lie to you, I wasn't really looking forward to this film because I have a completely unfounded aversion to stories about addicts. And I know it's very unforgiving and not quite PC of me. You know, I've dealt with people that I've been close to who struggle with everything at his feet. He's an athlete, he's super smart, he passes all of his exams and gets into all of the colleges he applies for, despite being the most, the child that played truant more than any other student at school. So there's this, you just really want to slap this young person, but of course you can't because the methamphetamine that he is addicted to has a total and utter grip on his life and every single other person in his life. His younger siblings, his stepmother, his mother. I mean, you just have to sit there and grit your teeth through all the deep rooted selfishness of addiction. It stars Timothée Chalamet as Nick, and of course, he's utterly sublime as this young addict. His ability to completely embody this tragic character and is so believable, just like he was in Call Me By Your Name, which is my favourite film of last year. Must have seen it 4 or 5 or 6 times, and I'll see it 4 or 5 or 6 times more. It's just so natural. And then when you see him interviewed, he's self-effacing. He has no idea about this great talent that he brings to the screen. And then his father's played by Steve Carell, who really is a funny guy, and you can tell that he wants to play more of these straight roles, and he does it very well. Your empathy, all of your empathy, is with him and his young family and his wife and ultimately his ex-wife, because the boy is destroying all of their lives. So the film is very intelligently told. It's a bit long. There's some sort of clever stuff, like in Sharp Objects, when they kept using flashback images to remind us or remind the character of something that triggered something's happening now and something triggered something in their childhood or their past. It's not done quite as beautifully as Sharp Objects, but you can see what's going on there. There's a lot of that, and there's a lot of explaining what the drugs actually do to your brain. So that I didn't know, but it's just a bit long. A lot of these films are like 20 minutes too long because we've already got there. Because those of us who know about this story know about the story. It's one of those films that will be compulsive viewing for teenagers at school. It'll be part of their sociology, or it should be part of their history class, because it's really informative about not just that person. Addicts think that nobody cares about them, that if they die, that's their choice, they should be able to do that if they want to destroy their lives with drugs. What they don't ever really understand is how the people who love them are being destroyed as well. There's a wonderful moment in the film when his mother is talking to David Sheff, his dad. She says, "He'll die if we don't help him." Steve Carell says, "He'll die if we do." And that's the moment when the person who loves the addict has realized that they're doing just as much harm if they help and just as much harm if they don't. By the way, Nick Sheff is alive. He's a writer in Los Angeles. He's written for television. He clearly contributed to this screenplay. So there is a happy ending. You don't know. I did not know as I was watching this film. I just completely assumed this boy was dead because of the completely self-destructive path he was on. But he's not, so that's good. The film comes out here in the UK in January, so I may be preempting a little bit. Repost this in January to remind you of my thoughts of it. It's a 3.5 out of 5 because again it's too long. Too long. Could have been cut down. We got the story. It has enough high points and low points. It's when a strong story loses its power. Note to self, filmmaker.